Hi there, Nigel Saunders for KW Bonsai. Today we're looking at my Ficus retusa bonsai. This was my very first bonsai tree. It was started from a seed 22 years ago. When we left this tree last, I had performed major root surgery to it, cutting off almost all the roots and wondering if it was going to survive. So here we are 10 months later, and as you can see, the tree has survived, and it survived very well. Every tree I'm working on I create a playlist for, so if you want to go into the playlist section on the channel, you can see the original video done 10 months ago where we cut off almost all the roots, and I'll be posting this video in that playlist section so you can follow the tree progression over the years. When we last left this tree, I was wondering if it was going to make it through to its 22nd year, and it has. So today we're going to perform more root surgery. So I'm going to show you how well the roots have grown. If I tip the pot up here, holding the tree in place, you can see the roots growing out of the drainage holes down below quite vigorously. And the roots grew fairly quickly after pruning it last summer. I could see surface roots reaching the edge of the pot about 3 weeks after we did the root pruning. So it regained its roots quite quickly. One thing, I got a lot of people saying that when you do major root surgery like that, I should have reduced the top of the tree. And the reason I didn't is, in order to grow more roots, you need leaves up top to create energy to grow the roots. If you cut off all the roots and remove all the foliage on top, you're just left with the energy that's in the tree trunk to grow the roots. So this way the leaves that are up there are generating energy in the tree, and it grows its root system faster than if you reduce the top. I did get some leaves dropped off, only about 3. So I didn't have to reduce the top very much. And we're going to do the same thing today. We're not going to touch the foliage up top very much. We might do a light trimming, but we're going to do some pruning on the roots. And the reason we're pruning the roots, if we were to leave it another year, our surface roots might be going the wrong direction. They may be crossing, and they'll get thicker and harder to correct. So when the root system's young like this, the roots are flexible, we can do a lot of work to the roots and then regenerate the roots again this year. So let's get started. So our first operation is to get the tree out of the pot. So again, we're gonna bring our sharp edge along the edge of the pot, loosen up all the roots. This layer of moss is just growing on top of the soil. I didn't plant any moss. And I'm not too concerned about keeping it. Ooh, there's some thick roots in there. Okay, so we've got the tree loosened up. We're going to try lifting it out now. There we go. There's our roots. And we'll take the pot away. Okay, so we've taken the pot away. We're going to start combing out the roots. Again, we're going to start from the center of the tree on top and rake outwards in our radial pattern. Now these new roots are going to be fairly young, so we have to be very careful not to tear them. So we're just going to do it slowly and carefully. As you're working on the roots, you want to keep them moist. So we keep misting them or watering them, like so. You can see some of the roots are quite long. They've been curling around the edge of the pot already. So we're continuing to rake out the roots. We've got a nice radial root spread. The roots look good. And once we're done raking out the top of the tree, top of the roots, we'll flip the tree over and start on the bottom. Okay. Drainage screens we can take out. One here. Shake. And then we're going to wash the roots. Okay, so the roots are washed. We're going to give them another combing, a more detailed combing. And you can see here, because we made our cuts fairly horizontal, we got all our new roots growing in a nice plane. Something to keep in mind when you're pruning roots is to try and prune them in a horizontal plane, and your new roots will come in a nice direction. Don't worry too much about ripping crossing roots. It's the radial roots you want to keep. I know you guys love that sound of metal on glass. There we go. Okay, so we got the roots pretty well combed out now, and it's time to do some root pruning. So we're going to prune do a profile prune first, in an oval shape. This equalizes your root balance, so our stronger roots get pruned back harder and the smaller ones don't get touched at all, so we get a more of a balanced root system. And you want to take the roots fairly far back. We don't want long straight roots. We want roots that divide and are more interesting. So that's the reason we're pruning it back fairly severely. Any roots on the bottom we want to get rid of. So we're just looking at the bottom now. There's some here we can get rid of. That looks pretty good. Next we'll get our pot ready and put the tree in the pot. I've got my pot ready. I've got a layer of soil. It's a little deeper than last time because we're going to raise the tree slightly in the pot. And I'm just going to water it. Keep it all in place while I put the tree in. Like so. And we'll get the tree in the pot now. Okay, so let's get the tree in the pot. Again, we're going to put it on center. We're going to comb out our roots the best we can. Or off center, maybe there. And we'll come around front and have a look at the position of the tree. Okay, so gotta be set back further. Girls. Make sure it's vertical. That looks pretty good. So, while we keep the tree vertical, we're We're going to add the soil in, a little bit at a time, and we'll work it into the roots. Oh, it's pretty good. And then we'll water the tree. So we're going to do some light top pruning to the tree, just to get rid of some of the excessively long branches. Not very much pruning, just light trimming so it doesn't shade out our weaker branches too much. So that's it for today. We've transplanted it, pruned our new roots back again. We did some light trimming at the top, and the next step for this tree will be to let it grow again to establish the new root system. And then midsummer we're going to do a structural pruning to the top. So Nigel Saunders for KW Bonsai. We'll see you next time.